getting in with another video. So today's video is going to be a video that I've been contemplating about for a long time, ever since I made a YouTube channel. The video is going to be about my eyes. For the most part, most people know that I can't see out of one eye. A lot of people don't know why I can't see out of one eye, what caused it, or when it all started. So what I'm going to be doing in this video exactly is explaining to you guys when it started, when we found out, and you know what we did to try to better the situation. Now, this all started when I was 4 years old. One of my mom's colleagues noticed that I was cross-eyed. So she came to my mother and she told my mother, she complained about it and said basically like, it's not normal, like, you know, for a child her age to be cross-eyed, like it's something serious. So my mom was like, okay, so she took me to the eye doctor, and the eye doctor told my mom that it was just that I had a lazy eye. Now, when they told my mom that, you know, of course nobody's gonna question the doctor, because the doctor is supposed to be professional, so nobody's gonna question when the doctor tells you something. So she was like, okay. So her colleague kept coming back and telling her like, no, this is something beyond like her having a lazy eye, like you have to really check it out, you know. So that's when my dad took me to the eye doctor, because my mom was in school. So when my dad took me, that's when they told him like I wasn't able to see out of one eye. So they started doing a lot of tests, like I had to go and do a lot of checkups and stuff like that, because they thought that when they seen the back of my eye, or when they were able to see the back of my eye at the time, they saw like something. It was basically like veins, and it was just like loose, and it was like wiggly. So it was like a squiggly line, and they thought it was cancer. So you know, of course, if somebody sees cancer or spots cancer in the back of a child's eye, they're gonna take it serious, because they're trying to get rid of it as fast as possible so it doesn't spread. So you know, I'm going through doctor's appointments back to back. I'm going through checkups and all of that stuff, scans and all types of stuff, and that's when they realized that that's not what it was. It wasn't cancer. So you know, everybody felt relief. But yet again, my parents were still, you know, sad about it, because of course nobody wants anything to happen to the child. Everybody wants the child to be perfect and healthy. I was not healthy. It was just that situation. So after they found out that I couldn't see, I went through tests, I went through a lot of stuff, and then they finally told my parents that it was my retina, which was detached from the back of my eye. So the retina is a thin layer of tissue that's located in the back of the eye that's close to the optic nerve. And what the retina does is that it takes the light that your lens has focused on. So the light that your eyes have focused on, it turns that into neural signals, and it sends it to the brain in order for your brain to get visual recognition. So with that being said, my left eye wasn't able to get those neural signals, so I wasn't able to know if something was coming at me, if I was seeing light or nothing. So I was completely blind. I was not able to see nothing. So it's basically like closing your eyes and just seeing pitch black, nothing at all, not even light, nothing. So after all of that happened, you know, of course my parents were devastated. And one thing I do like about my parents is that they always told me exactly what it was. They always let me know. From since I was 4, they let me know like, look, you can't see. Even though I wasn't really able to understand it, they always made sure as I was growing up, they told me like, okay, you can't see out of that eye. Don't let anybody touch it. If there's anybody rough playing, don't get too close. If people throwing balls and stuff, don't get too close and stuff like that. And it was also easy on me because I went to the same school as my mom, so you know, it wasn't really like nothing too serious. She always made sure she looked out for me, and most of the teachers there knew exactly what was going on. Now, when I came to the United States, of course, I had to start a whole medical record all over. So everything that I did in Suriname technically didn't really matter. So I had to come back and do the same exact thing here over. Now, they told me the exact same thing that the doctors over there told me. They thought that they would be able to fix it, and that wasn't the case. I honestly had a little bit of hope. As I got older, I had a little bit of hope that I'll still be able to see, because I felt as if, okay, we come into America, a big country, they have a lot of technology and stuff like that, and I've seen stuff on TV in Suriname where they do a lot of stuff in America that we can't do in Suriname. So I was like, okay, maybe they'll be able to fix whatever it is. Now, when I came down here, and then I started to realize, like, I'm going through, like, I'm starting to do CAT scan, like, every other week. I'm going to the city to every eye doctor. They put eye drops in my eye, trying to see the back of the lens and the back of the eye to see what it is and how it was caused and all of this stuff, and sitting in waiting areas and doing all these, you know, visual tests and stuff like that. And then that's when I started to realize, like, okay, maybe they aren't able to fix it. So that's when I had to realize, like, okay, I have two choices. I'm either gonna sit on the side and, you know, mourn about the situation, or I'm just gonna sit on another side and pick up my stuff and just go with my life and just accept what I have and live with what's going on. Now, as a child, you know, coming to a new country and being 10 years old and having to go around new people that you never met before besides family, it's hard because you never know how those people are gonna look at you. You never know how those people view you. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of hard looking, you know, it was kind of hard being around new people. Ever since that situation, I started to go to a doctor which was closer to my house. So that doctor is that's basically like my favorite doctor, because she explained everything to my parents. She showed us pictures of how the back of my eye looks. She showed us what the tissue looks like. She showed us what, you know, that there's no light that can be received. She showed us why I can't see. And in the next clip, I'm gonna insert it in this video, and she's gonna explain to you guys exactly what retinal detachment is. I'm gonna also insert a picture of my eye, and she explains that my eye is gonna turn into a white eye. So as time goes on, my eyes are gonna turn white, which means for the most part that people are blind. When people have white eyes, that means they're blind from either one eye or whichever eye. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody has that. I'm not saying every blind person has a white eye, but for the most part, most people who can't see out of one eye have a white eye.
Okay, so a retinal detachment basically is self-explanatory. The retina, which is the part of the eye where all the nerve fibers are, which are responsible for the vision in the eye, it develops some kind of spaces in it, or some kind of a hole or a tear, and it will detach, basically kind of ripping itself off of the back of the eye, where the circulation is. And once it detaches, there's no more circulation. It's nerve fibers that have died, basically. Now, it also depends where the detachment is, but once it rips down to the center of the vision, where the nerve fibers are concentrated for the best vision, it has to be repaired immediately for that to get vision back of any kind. Otherwise, within just a day or so, you're basically lost all the vision once the whole retina detaches right off of what's called the macula, which is the center of the retina.
Okay, and as you explained earlier to me, there's scar tissue. So can you explain what that is or what you've seen?
Okay, well, when I look at the eye, I cannot see in the back of the eye. All I see the pupil, which normally has a dark look to it. That's the center of the eye that opens and closes usually, and has a center where we can look inside the eye. And all I see is white scar tissue there. So it indicates that that whole back of the eye has just degenerated and scarred over. There must have been a lot of inflammation back there at the time of whatever detachment occurred. And what else might have been atrophying at the same time as the detachment. So it's basically impossible to look directly into the back of the eye now to see that.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, a retinal detachment can be cured, but that's only if you catch it on time. It took everybody 4 years to realize, so it took time. I started getting a cross-eye because at the end of the day, I wasn't able to control this eye at all. Like, maybe as I'm looking at this video, you guys can maybe see that this eye is probably looking that way. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it might be looking that way. I can't control my eye. Like, it basically just does what it does. But I don't sit and dwell on it because I've accomplished a lot within the years of me living. You know what I'm saying? Like, I graduated middle school, junior high school, you know. I played sports. I mean, there were some ups and downs within playing the sports, you know, but I play sports. I drive every day, and, you know, nothing happened. So, you know what I'm saying? So, what I want to say to everybody who got something going on, don't let that one thing stop you from living your life. Like, live your life how you want to live it. That one thing is not supposed to stop you from reaching your goal. Just because something happened to you don't mean that you gotta sit and dwell on it, because at the end of the day, nobody's gonna hold your hand and guide you to the light. You have to guide yourself to the light. So as I conclude this video, I just want to thank everybody in advance for all the support and all the love and all the, you know, subscribing and sharing the videos and everything. And I want to thank all my friends who pushed me and told me to do this video no matter what. And yeah, peace guys.
All that shit, damn little baby, what you call that shit? That's the red nose shot of you.